Greetings and welcome to another Pokemon 2023 or Pokemon Horizons the Series anime episode review. This time I am talking about episode 17, so let's get to it. The episode begins with Liko pacing back and forth nervously in front of Dot's room. The fact that she now knows that she lives under the same roof as her beloved Needle Thing has left her unsure of how to act. She is a bundle of anxiety. Roy soon appears, wondering if she has seen Fuecoco and Wattrel, who the episode cuts to. They are both sunbathing. However, Fuecoco stands right next to Wattrel, way too close for comfort, and it casts its shadow on Wattrel, much to its frustration. Worse yet, when it moves away, Fuecoco simply follows it, which leads to the same result. Though clearly Fuecoco is not trying to be mean. Quite the contrary, in fact. Liko and Roy soon find them, much to Roy's delight. However, Fuecoco continues to be very friendly with Wattrel, who does not take kindly to this. So it attacks Fuecoco, which leads to a small scuffle that Roy has to stop. He says that they should all sunbathe together since the weather is great. While Fuecoco takes him up on the offer, it does so by once again blocking Wattrel from getting any sun, and by getting too close to it. Fuecoco and Roy then proceeded to joyfully sing together. Wattrel soon joins in, but in frustration with an uproar. This makes Fuecoco do the same. Their duet rattles everyone. At lunchtime, Fuecoco once again innocently and inadvertently triggers Wattrel, who chooses to eat by itself. Liko wonders if perhaps Wattrel finds Fuecoco overwhelming. Roy says that he hopes that they will get along soon. Fuecoco continues trying to do just this, but Wattrel still refuses to play ball. Instead, it attacks Fuecoco again, which leads to another fight that Roy tries to defuse, though this time he fails. The scuffle continues and Fuecoco runs off with Wattrel pecking it, forcing Roy to chase after them. Liko finds this funny, which makes Orla wonder what Liko thinks about getting another Pokemon. This makes Liko ponder what doing so would be like. She actually has never thought about this, but since she is a trainer, it is bound to happen one day, though she cannot imagine what it would be like. Meanwhile, Roy tries to get Fuecoco and Wattrel to reconcile, since now even Fuecoco is mad, though it soon calms down once Roy gets it to start singing. However, Wattrel remains annoyed. They all then hear a commotion nearby. The source is a sparring session between Captain Pikachu and the Charizard. Seeing Charizard in action delights Fuecoco, and Captain Pikachu's Thunder Punch catches the attention of Wattrel. After a fierce clash, Friede tells his Pokemon to stand down. Roy wonders what is going on. Friede reveals that he had Captain Pikachu and the Charizard battle so that they can relieve stress. Sparring together also allows them to become better friends. Since his Pokemon need both of these, Roy decides to use them to face Captain Pikachu, something Fuecoco and Wattrel are eager to do, with Wattrel being extra eager. It even tries to straight up intimidate Captain Pikachu. So the battle begins with Wattrel and Fuecoco using Uproar and Ember respectively. Captain Pikachu is briefly immobilized by Uproar, but he soon avoids it. He also easily avoids Ember. Wattrel then charges Captain Pikachu with Spark, but Captain Pikachu sidesteps it. Wattrel then uses Spark again, while Fuecoco uses Tackle, but Captain Pikachu avoids both attacks. Fuecoco and Wattrel continue to attack with Tackle and Spark repeatedly, though they are still unable to land a hit. Eventually they corner Captain Pikachu, and they attack together hoping to finally score a hit with a pincer attack. But Captain Pikachu jumps, forcing Fuecoco and Wattrel to crash into each other, which knocks them both out. Once they recover, they start bickering again, until Roy stops them. After the battle, Friede receives a call from Dot, who informs him that they will be running into turbulence soon. So Friede tells everyone to get ready for the rough waters ahead. Orla feeds power to the furnace with the help of Charizard and Slugma. Friede and Captain Pikachu man the helm, and Liko and Molly get all the Pokemon to safety. However, Molly soon realizes that Roy and his Pokemon are nowhere to be found. So Liko heads out to find them. Turns out that they are still up on the deck, lamenting the result of the battle. They soon realize what the airship is going through, so they decide to head back inside. However, as they do, a strong wind current sweeps Wattrel off the airship, though it manages to fly back and grab a hold of a railing, from where Roy is able to save it. Liko soon arrives and she urges them to get to cover, though before they can, a branch carried by the wind heads straight for them. Though thankfully Wattrel uses a bolt tackle level Spark to break through the branch, thus saving itself and Roy. They all then finally manage to get to safety. Roy is amazed with the power Wattrel just displayed. He says that with it, they could even defeat Captain Pikachu's Thunder Punch. However, he soon wonders why Wattrel was not able to use said power during the battle. Liko points out that Wattrel generates electricity when it catches strong winds, which it was able to do thanks to the turbulence. It is worth mentioning that while this is something Wattrel can do naturally, they also can have their signature ability Wind Power, which powers up electric type moves when the Pokemon is hit by a wind move. Therefore, it seems that Roy's Wattrel has Wind Power as its ability. So, Roy tries to figure out a way to summon strong winds during battle, but he is unable to come up with anything. Thus, he decides to consult Dot. Liko, however, is hesitant about this, since it means interacting with Dot, something Liko still finds nerve-wracking. In the end though, she has no choice, since Dot invites her and Roy to her room so that they can help Roy with brainstorming a strategy. Liko remains nervous, however. After some discussion, Dot says that if Wattrel can jump from a high enough place, it might, for a moment, catch strong enough winds to power up. This gives Roy an idea of what he can do, so he runs off to train with his Pokemon while thanking Dot for her help. On the deck, Roy goes over his plan with Fuecoco and Wattrel. While Wattrel likes the idea, Fuecoco doesn't. Though it soon comes around to it when Roy says that they have to work together for the strategy to work. At night, everyone finishes eating dinner, and they realize that Roy and his Pokemon never came back. So Liko decides to take dinner to them. When she gets to the deck, she finds Roy and his Pokemon totally exhausted after hours of intense training. Though they soon come back to life once they realize Liko brought food. While Liko wants to know what kind of training they were doing, Roy says that it's a secret and that she should wait for tomorrow. The next day, Roy and his Pokemon once again challenge Captain Pikachu to a battle. Out on the deck, with everyone watching, Roy and his Pokemon get ready to unleash their special move, which makes them look like several mecha combining into one. Something straight out of Power Rangers, Ultraman, Gridman, Super Sentai, etc. Everyone is left speechless, confused, and perplexed by this so-called special move. So, Roy tosses Fuecoco and Wattrel into the sky. Fuecoco uses a flurry of embers to propel itself even further, at which point Wattrel takes flight. Fuecoco then lands to fire off another flurry of embers in order to force Captain Pikachu to jump, thus putting him between Wattrel and Fuecoco and in a situation where it's difficult to dodge. Wattrel then unleashes its powerful wind power boosted spark. Realizing the danger he is in, Captain Pikachu counterattacks with Thunder Punch, which clashes with Spark. Both Pokemon end up being knocked back, with Captain Pikachu dropping his cap in the process. Fuecoco tries to end the battle with Tackle, since Captain Pikachu is in a position in which it is seemingly impossible for him to avoid any attack. But against all logic, he does avoid the tackle, using his tail to dart around in mid-air. Wattrel and Fuecoco meanwhile fall to their demise, much to Roy's dismay, though everyone reassures him saying that he and his Pokemon did well. After the battle, Roy, Fuecoco, and Wattrel are sad because their plan did not work. However, they soon cheer up once they decide to train even more and try again. Roy and Fuecoco then start to sing once more, and Wattrel once again joins in. But unlike before, it does so for real and peacefully, signifying that in the end, the original objective was accomplished. Liko watches this from nearby, which makes her realize that maybe having another Pokemon would be fun. Roy soon stops singing in order to ponder if Captain Pikachu can fly. The episode then cuts to Captain Pikachu as he darts around the deck. Friede says that knocking off Captain Pikachu's cap is a big achievement, and that Captain Pikachu got serious at the end of the battle. The episode ends with Captain Pikachu indeed taking flight. So that's the short but detailed summary of the episode. Now it's time to highlight, analyze, and comment on my favorite moments and or moments that are noteworthy/interesting. It was clear in the battle against Spinel that there was some discord between Fuecoco and Wattrel. This episode simply fleshed this out a lot more, and it allowed them to work through their problems alongside Roy, which ultimately led to all of them being finally on the same page. They are now a team, which makes them stronger and better friends. It was nice and funny to see them bickering, reconciling, and working together, especially since they got to battle Captain Pikachu. This allowed Wattrel to get some more action, which gave it the chance to use more of its moves and to reveal its ability, which is cool. While the battles were nothing special, they were still entertaining and enjoyable to watch. Especially because, unusually, Captain Pikachu got serious. He even defied the laws of gravity in order to emerge victorious and unscathed. He continues to be a badass, which is awesome. Finally, I award bonus points to the episode because Liko realized that she can catch another Pokemon, and that doing so would be fun. Her first capture is definitely right around the corner, and I cannot wait for it. But those are my thoughts on and analysis of the episode. Now it's time to bring this review to a close by going over my overall opinion of the episode. So overall, this episode was alright. Obviously, it wasn't amazing or groundbreaking, but it was still fun to watch, and it was another step in the development of Liko, Roy, and his Pokemon as characters. A step that, while not terribly exciting, is still necessary for them to continue growing slowly but surely. Plus, this episode set the stage for Liko's first capture and for Friede and Captain Pikachu's backstory, thus netting the episode some additional value, ensuring that even if it wasn't that thrilling, especially for a training episode, it certainly was no slouch either. But that's the review and the video. So, as always, leave your own thoughts down in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did and would like to see more like it, then please consider subscribing to my channel. I love Pokemon and I love making videos on both the anime and the games. Also, please consider clicking the links on screen so that you can check out more videos like this one right away. Additionally, down in the description, I have affiliate links for GameStop, which is where I buy all my gaming related stuff, affiliate links for Amazon, which is where I buy all my stuff that is not gaming related or groceries, and a link to my Buy Me a Coffee page. These links will all allow you to support me directly if you would like to. I would very much appreciate it. Also, I have a link to my second channel, where I cover Resident Evil. If this is something that would interest you, then please check said channel out. Thank you so very much for watching, and let's meet again in the next video.